Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. And thank you for joining us here at the first live stream of Unity Spiritual Center of San Francisco. I'm so glad that you found us as we discover new ways of keeping connected during this unprecedented time. If you've been in our sanctuary before, I want you to know that we are envisioning each one of you sitting in the chairs before us. And if you haven't been to Unity Spiritual Center before, I will look forward to possibly meeting you in the future once this health concern has been met and controlled, and it will be. For now, may we take a deep breath wherever we are, as we go within our inner sanctuary, where we are always safe, guided, and at peace. So just take this time to let go of any worries or concerns and connect virtually with all of us in community and with the God of your understanding. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we celebrate the truth that our God is love, as expressed in Unity's foundation statement, which you are invited to repeat after me at home. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotent. So take another deep breath now. Become comfortable and gently release any cares of the day. The only thing that you need to do in this hour is to open yourself up to the love and goodness of the divine as you relax into the sacred time and space at Unity Spiritual Center. For almost 75 years now, we at Unity Spiritual Center have celebrated and honored people of every culture, of every creed, of every religion, of every race, of every age, and every lifestyle, knowing that there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. Seeing through eyes of oneness and acknowledging our oneness, we know that God indwells all people and is expressed through each of us in unique, special and individual ways. Unity offers positive, practical, progressive spiritual teachings and tools that honor the universal truth in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. As you look at the flame of the candle, this candle that we light every Sunday, remember that. Remember that you yourself carry a divine flame within as an individualized expression of God. Remember that God does God's work in the world through the movement of your hands and your heart. Our vision here at Unity Spiritual Center and the opportunity for you and for each one of us in this community is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with spirit, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to do, and most of all, that you know that your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. So let us pause now to listen, to just be, to relax, and to hear a musical selection sung by our intrepid, creative, and wonderful music director, Michael Hatfield.
And today's tune is a tune called We Are the Ones We've Been Waiting For. Somebody, a little bird gave me a little idea about that idea that might have to happen, so I prepared a new tune. And the thing you need to know about this song is there's one line for you to sing back at me, okay? And that line sounds like this. And the words that go with it are, we are the ones we've been waiting for. So we'll give it a little try and see how we do. So here's our song, We Are the Ones We've Been Waiting For.
We are the
Thank you, Michael. And so now, as we continue to get comfortable and relax even more deeply into this time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts to receive the message of today's daily word. The message for today, as always, is a timely one. The message for today is Pray for Others, and it will be read by our USC Board Treasurer and the creator of our beautiful slides, Marcy Guzman.
Good morning and blessings to all of our congregants who are hopefully looking at us and feeling us online, and visitors that are new to our site. And I love that new song. We are the ones you've been looking for. That's what I'm going to say right now. We are the ones you've been looking for. So please tune in throughout today and other times. So the word today is pray for others. As I pray for others, I affirm unfolding good in their lives and in mine. Honored by the trust of those who request my prayers, I listen with compassion and then release all thoughts of illness, lack, limitation, or inharmony. Knowing that my responsibility is not to set the situation right, but to see it rightly. I look beyond challenging conditions and attune to the essential truth that the one for whom I pray is created in God's image and is seeking to express God's likeness, just as all people are, just as am I. I know that the divine presence, the Christ, is present both in me and in the one for whom I pray. It restores wholeness in my mind, body, emotions, guiding all decisions, inspiring, prospering ideas, and bringing harmony and peace to all relationships. The Lord is near to all who call on him in truth. Psalm 145:18.
Thank you, Marcy. Unity Spiritual Center is a center of prayer and healing. We have a community prayer box on the table in the back. You will not be here in person for at least a couple of weeks, but know that in the meantime, you're always welcome to email us or to call in or send a prayer request to place in that box so that collectively we can hold your prayer with you. And right now, not knowing necessarily what the prayers are in that box, not knowing what the unwritten prayers of our community or those of you watching us may be, let us still gather together virtually to hold those requests in our heart, just to surround each person who has a prayer request with love, knowing for them that they are enfolded in divine love, and that no matter what appearances may be, no matter what they may be facing, divine order is taking place in their lives. The prayer requests that are placed in the box are prayed on by me and our USC prayer team for 30 days, and then we forward them to Silent Unity at Unity's World Headquarters, where they're prayed on for an additional 30 days. And this is the time in our service where we usually ask people who are here if they would like to share their prayer requests aloud so that we can stand with them and support them as a spiritual family. Though we don't have our full community with us here today, let's go ahead and connect our hearts in prayer as Michael plays the music we use for this time. And I did find a beautiful prayer online that I thought would be helpful for us to focus on during this time. It's called Prayer for a Pandemic. You may have seen it on social media, written by a person named Cameron Bellum. May we, who are merely inconvenienced, remember those whose lives are at stake. May we who have no risk factors remember those most vulnerable. May we who have the luxury of working from home remember those who must choose between preserving their health or making their rent. May we who have the flexibility to care for our children when their school closes remember those who have no options. May we who have to cancel our trips remember those who have no safe place to go. May we who are losing our margin money in the tumult of the economic market remember those who have no margin at all. May we who settle in for a quarantine at home remember those who have no home. As fear grips our country, let us choose love. During this time when we cannot physically wrap our arms around each other, let us find ways to be the loving embrace of God to our neighbors. So may it be. Amen.
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me. I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too.
And as we do every Sunday, let us also remember what we're grateful for. And I think the prayer that I just read outlines some of them. So in silence, wherever you are, reflect on those things that are going right in your life, those things that are good, that are true, that are beautiful, as Michael sings our blessing song.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We give thanks for this opportunity to bless and to be blessed in spirit. We give thanks for the knowledge that when we ask, it will be given to us. When we seek, we will find. When we knock, the door will be opened to us. We give thanks for the feelings of peace, comfort, and connection that fill our hearts and our minds right now. We give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community, in our nation, and around the globe. And we affirm that always and in all ways, no matter what the news says, no matter what appearances are, divine love and divine order is everywhere present. And so it is. Amen.
What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed with the wind always fill up my sail? How far could I go? What would I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What else would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles for you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? I'd refuse to listen to the voice of fear, with the voice of courage whisper in my ear. If I were brave enough to move ahead where true believers dare to tread, I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today? I am brave. What will I do today? 'Cause I'm brave.
Thank you, Michael. All of the songs he's chosen, as always, are so perfect for what we're going to talk about today. And as you know, if you've been here at Unity Spiritual Center this year, the theme I'm using for 2020 is based on the book, The Fourfold Way, Walking the Paths of the Warrior, Teacher, Healer, and Visionary, by cultural anthropologist and my former teacher and mentor, the late Angela Sarian. I chose this theme because this election year of 2020 seems like a very good year to be studying the archetypes of the warrior, which is another word for leader, the teacher, the healer, and the visionary. And in this first quarter of the year, we've been looking at the way of the warrior, the way of the leader, which is associated with winter. Now, before I knew that we were going to live stream this service, I had chosen Tools for Walking the Way of the Warrior as my talk title for today. You may have seen the slide that said live streaming debut. That was not my talk title. That's all right. It was Tools for Walking the Way of the Warrior. And I saw this and still see this as a conclusion to our look at the warrior archetype. And I think that given what's going on today, it's a perfect thing to be looking at. So looking over my notes from 20 years ago that I took as a student of Angelus's, I found this sentence that I wrote down. Leadership is the ability to stay connected to an unshakable core, no matter what the circumstances. So I'll read that again. Leadership is the ability to stay connected to an unshakable core, no matter what the circumstances. Now, as Michael's song kind of indicated, haven't you felt lately in the midst of all this chaos and confusion and uncertainty that you are craving a leader, that you are craving to hear the words of someone who is standing in that role of leader and comforts and guides and educates? As Angelus wrote about the archetype of the warrior leader, examples of them, or this archetype, include Eleanor Roosevelt, Gandhi, and Martin Luther King, because each one of them was willing to take a stand in an arena that has heart and meaning for them. In shamanic societies, it is the warrior's task to become visible, and through example and intention, to empower and inspire others. We're searching for that today. We're looking for examples of empowerment and inspiration. And as this week unfolded, I found myself missing Angelus so much. And I know that each one of you have a loved one in your lives who's no longer here, who have made their transitions, and you too have probably thought, I wish they were here. I would love to know what they have to say about this particular time or these particular circumstances. And I was thinking that about Angelus. I wondered what it is that she might say about this time that we're facing, what guidance she might be able to give. Because this is an unprecedented time. This is a global pandemic that not only is shuttering our communities here in San Francisco, but institutions abroad like the Louvre and even whole countries. Italy is in complete lockdown. We've never seen anything like that in our lifetimes. And the only thing close to it, perhaps, in our recent memory is 9/11. That's the thing that I can think of that shook us to our collective cores most recently. And so, on an inspiration, I Googled to see what Angelus might have said about 9/11. And I found a treasure trove that I want to share with you. In a wonderful interview she did with Michael Toms of New Dimensions Radio, Angelus spoke to the zeitgeist of those times, and in many ways it is similar today. Because collectively we're scared. We're scared because of all of the unknowns, because this is unknown, uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen next, and we don't know where this viral outbreak is going to take us, either personally, as a nation, or as a world. But this is something I want all of us to take in. Angelus had a warning about fear. She said that fear constricts energy. It blocks it. Fear blocks energy. It sets up numbing and paralysis, which inhibits creativity. We become reactive, not creative. Now, I know, because I myself have been practicing some numbing behaviors. This feels like a time to zone out on, junk TV or junk food or just something as we try to figure out how to go forward. But I found that so helpful, that we must stay out of fear. We must do everything we can to keep us out of reactivity and into creativity. And how do we do that? Well, she had thoughts about that too. She counseled taking action. Action absorbs anxiety. Isn't that a great line? action absorbs anxiety. So if you're feeling anxious, take a step, any step, to get yourself out of that fret and worry. And actions that can be particularly good are those that take us out of our normal sense of time. It's called Kairos time. Those actions that are the ones that you love so much or you become so involved in that you lose track of time. Painting or doing some other creative activity, model making, gardening, whatever it is that helps you to lose track of time and is a constructive action that will take you out of anxiety. And this archetype of the warrior or leader comes into play during times like these. Leaders show up. That's what they do. They show up, they're present, and they bring their gifts and talents forward. They're sacred warriors. They focus on increasing tolerance, patience, humility, and compassion. And all of those qualities are qualities that we are going to need to develop and or strengthen as we move into this phase of physical distancing. We're going to need to become tolerant, patient, humble, and compassionate, all those ways of the sacred warrior. Already in the news, we're hearing sad things about xenophobia. I just read this morning about how people are not eating Chinese food because of a erroneous belief that could be problematic for them, or they're even more disturbing accounts of people acting out toward the Chinese. We have to guard against those things. We need to use this time when our hearts might be breaking to open them up, to open our hearts, to extend them outward to even more people than we have ever before. And there's another quality that the sacred or spiritual warrior brings to bear, and that is an incredible sense of faith. Angela's talked about this in a really interesting way. She said, the spiritual warrior stands with an incredible sense of faith, but it is not the faith of a zealot. It isn't a faith that goes to either extreme. She talked about the power is in the formidable middle. It's standing in the middle, standing on the ground of your faith and supporting what is true, what is just, what is right, and what is equitable. The spiritual warrior doesn't operate in extremes, as I said, but in the middle, because it's there that solutions can be found, that creativity can be found, that we can be more responsive, not reactive. And she said, and I want to emphasize, during hard times such as 9/11 or such as this time that we're all facing right now, we have an opportunity to reflect on our lives, particularly with these new requests for physical distancing. We have more time than we usually do, and we can use them. We can use them productively. Angela's pointed out that there's a difference between reflecting and reacting. So again, we want to stay out of reactivity, but go toward that deep and rich territory of reflection, where we can redream or revision what's possible. And we cannot do that if we're in a state of fear. We can use this downtime, this time when we're placed out of our daily routines, to reprioritize our priorities. Because, Angelus believed, the human spirit is deeply good. The human spirit is deeply good. We all want to connect, to be of service, to make a difference, to do something meaningful. And this is our time to take a look at our lives and see where we stack up in those areas and decide as we move forward into this future what it is that we want to take a stand for, what it is that we want to show up for and show up as. That is the way of the warrior, the way of the leader. And the final thing to remember is a wisdom that was repeated in the days after 9/11, as well as other events in history that have been hard to comprehend. They are words that will serve us no matter what it is that we go through in life. And that is that the only thing we really can control is our response to something. We can't necessarily control events, and so it's not the event that we should focus on, that we should pick apart, that we should dwell on. It's our response to it that we do have control over. So let us use this time, this crazy, uncertain, and yes, frightening time to redream, revision, and reprioritize. How do we want to show up during this time? Do we want to be paralyzed by fear? Or do we want to absorb our anxiety by taking action? Let us focus on what's good, true, and beautiful. Let us be beacons of light for those around us. Let us be leaders who empower and inspire. In the words of the Hopi elders, and in the words of Michael, who used their words for a song, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the leaders we've been waiting for. So I invite people in our community to be a leader, to be a sacred warrior to each other. Think about your friends here at USC. Send them a card, send them an email, pick up the phone and give them a call to see how they're doing and if they need help with anything. And if you're not part of this community right now, I encourage you to do that for the community you are a part of. We are all being called right now to tend to each other. And we will find that when we do that, we will ameliorate our own anxiety. We have a collective opportunity here to create something beautiful, to be alchemists, and to transform this time of uncertainty and fear into greater connection, even though we may not be in the same physical spaces. Our opportunity is expressed in the words of a beautiful poem that was floating around social media. I have put it both on my personal Facebook page and also on the Facebook page of Unity Spiritual Center. And if you are watching via live stream, then you most likely have seen it yourselves. But these words are so beautiful and they bear repeating. It's a poem that was written by a Bay Area poet named Lynn Unger. And the poem is called Pandemic. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling, give up, just for now, on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray, touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are both terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has become clear. Do not reach out your hands, reach out your heart, reach out your words, reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. Let us be spiritual warriors, living out our unity principles and standing on faith. This pandemic, as the poem stated, has shown us more clearly than ever that as we teach in unity, we are interconnected. We are one. We will survive this. Let us survive it with grace, with goodness, with trust and compassion, and emerge stronger and better on the other side. And so it is, and so may it be. Thank you, God. And as we always do during our service, I want to give you a time to kind of ground your thoughts, to be in the silence with a guided meditation. And the one that I've chosen for today comes from Unity. If you'd like to look it up, you can. It's online, unity.org. It's the February 2020 prayer service. And I thought it would be a good one for us all to rest into. So wherever you are, I invite you to close your eyes, to lean back against your chair, your couch, or wherever you are, to take a number of slow, deep breaths. As we begin this guided meditation, I will read a number of affirmations in the first person, and I invite you to listen to them and embrace them as if they were your very own. So let's breathe now from our heart center of divine love, directing breath throughout our bodies and out beyond our bodies to broadcast divine love everywhere. By doing so, we stir up the vibration of divine love, the unifying power of God as we pray. Divine peace flows in my mind and my heart. Every thought in my mind is informed by the unifying power of love. Every feeling in my heart is tempered by love. Therefore, I am peaceful. I am filled with divine peace that flows in and through my mind and heart. By the power of divine love, I am a unifying presence. Centered in divine wisdom, I trust the whispers of truth. By the unifying power of divine love, I am one with God. All the wisdom of God is present where I am. I only need to be still and turn inward to know in any moment what to do and when to act. Love is my nature. Wisdom is my guide. One with God, I choose life, wholeness, and well-being. Divine love is the unifying power of my intention to know wholeness and well-being. I steady my thoughts on divine love, in which all worry and doubt harmonize and heal instantly. I claim and now choose nothing less than the fullness of life. God is my strength. I am steadfast and courageous, knowing that I am one with God. I am anchored in spiritual strength. No concern or circumstance could have power over me, for God is my strength. I am as strong as an oak tree with roots planted deep and branches that sway but never break. I stand steady and ready. Strength is my name. Awakened in divine love, I am a blessing. Divine love is a stirring within and awakening to my heart and mind. I am willing to harmonize my thoughts so that they are clear and kind. I am willing to be a unifying presence that blesses and encourages others. Fully in love, I am willing to be a blessing to the world. And knowing that we can return to our inner sanctuary at any time we choose, that it is always there, and all we need to do is just stop and be still, to be still and know God. As we complete this session of prayer, may we choose the harmony and unity of divine love throughout our day. Awakened in love, spiritually strong and full of wisdom, let us consciously live today and every day as the love of God. And so it is. Amen. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have a new tagline, and that is that we are an ocean of love. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. And let's see if we can get those slides up. There we go. And if you're at home, I invite you to say them aloud or silently as I read them. Our vision is centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are, we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And feeling inspired by our vision, mission, and values, feeling enriched by what we've experienced today through our virtual connection and what we will continue to experience as we reach out to others in our community. Let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. As Michael shares a song, please take that time that he's playing to write out a check to USC or to log on to our website, which is www.unitysf.org. If you'd like to make a donation online, you'll see a link on the right-hand side of our homepage. I also added donation links to our Facebook pages, both my personal page, Maggie, Oman, Shannon, and also our church page, Unity Spiritual Center of San Francisco. As you can imagine, our expenses go on, even when we are staying careful and keeping our outreach virtual. So do consider that as we continue to look for ways to stay connected with you. So let's take time now to bless our tithes and our love offerings. Perhaps you want to place them in your hands or next to your hearts, or bless your computer button if you're donating online as we say our offertory prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
All right, for all of you that are playing at home, got a couple words to know. You can make it if you try. That's the first one. And the other, there's 6 words. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, so we have that? Okay, you can make it if you try, and yeah, 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 yeah. All right, here we go. Sounds like this. Coming to you from Vallejo, California, from Sly and the Family Stone. You can make it if you try. You can make it if you try. Push a little harder, think a little deeper. Don't let that plastic bring you down. All together now. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's where the drums go. Everybody take a spin around your chair wherever you're sitting in front of the computer and get ready. Here we go. Here we go. You can make it if you try. You can make it if you try. Time here is creeping, especially when you're sleeping. Wake up and go for what you know. All together now. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, this is where you get a little exercise because you can't sit too much. Just get up, stretch around, and get ready for the next verse. You can make it if you try. You can make it if you try. You'll get what's due you, and everything coming to you. You got to move if you wanna be ahead. All together now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. All together now. You can make it if you try. try. Thank you.
Well, as I like to say, our music director, Michael Hatfield, is a one-man party. So I hope you experience that at home as well. And we are going to bless our offering. We do have a couple people in the audience here with us, if you were wondering. And let us bless our offering together as I find our offertory prayer.
It's behind you if you'd like to find it.
You know, I'm always prepared with a plan B, so I got it. Please join with me. Spirit
Of the living God, bless the acts of our hands, our minds, our hearts. May everything offered here at Unity Spiritual Center be a reflection of all that is good within us. Grant us the courage to patiently listen for the stirring of your presence. Enliven our spirits with humor. Fill us with reverence for one another and gratitude for our diversity. May unity, beauty, and truth be the fruit of all we do, and so it is. Amen.
So I want to thank you for joining us here today. Thank you in advance for your generosity. And I just want to make a few announcements. This is usually the time in our service when we make a few announcements. As you know, if you received our most recent email, letter, or a personal phone call from me, we have canceled all events at USC and our in-person Sunday services through next week, March 22nd, and possibly beyond. We will definitely keep you updated as we learn more about recommended health practices throughout the coming days. We are planning, though, on having our live stream service next week, again on YouTube, and we will have a guest speaker. This is someone who is coming back to USC, Lucian Baker, and he's always a dynamic and wonderful speaker. So look for him next Sunday, March 22nd at 11 a.m. I also want to say to please do reach out to us. Our phone number here at the office, and both our center manager, Jerry, and I will be here this week. Please do call 415-566-4122 or through email. And again, those contact numbers and addresses are on our website at unitysf.org. But please do contact us if you have suggestions for how we can better serve our community at this time, or if you know of someone who needs help or a comforting call. But again, I want to call on each one of us to be a leader, to be a spiritual warrior, and to invite you to extend those arms of compassion yourself, not only to your USC friends, but also to those around you. Let's show the world why we call ourselves an ocean of love. So, as we prepare to close our service out, and it looks like we have done pretty well. Wow, we are right at 12 o'clock, so I'm pretty proud of us for that. Let us go into the day and the coming week, standing on our faith as spiritual warriors and knowing that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. And then, Michael, if you want to close us out with the peace song, that would be lovely.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony.
Blessings to all of you. Have a good week.